Okay, well, welcome. This is my early access gameplay that I'm able to play here with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm very excited to be invited by Ubisoft to play Assassin's Creed Shadows early. I'm very excited and very cool. So far, we just got done playing bits of the story that we're not allowed to share yet, but this is kind of more of an open world portion here. So I'm kind of playing with the parkour right now. I'm kind of testing out the descending parkour. So I noticed that if I come to this ledge and I hold B, she'll start to descend by herself, which is pretty common with some of the other games. But it looks like the descending parkour is definitely, yeah, so she does some flips and stuff. Definitely more advanced. One thing I do notice is that if I'm on a roof and I go to hold B, she'll just dive. Like, she'll just dive by herself on the roof. But really what I'm trying to do is start the descending parkour sequence. But I think maybe if you time it, so yeah, there you go. Right when you hit the edge, when you're close to the edge, if you start to hold B, she'll kind of do this parkour move downwards. I come to it and then I press B, I'll hang off of it. But if I walk towards it and hold B, I think I should. There we go. We do like a descending parkour thing. So that's really cool. That already is showing the just, very simple movement of descending parkour. But I'm excited to see the difference in movement that we have access to now with that distinguishing button. So right there, there's another flip, and that was an entirely different animation. Okay, so she jumped it. Ooh, I like that soft landing, though. So if it's a really high ledge, she'll jump down, just like what we see with the other games. But she lands in a way that doesn't just break the earth. Very cool. So pretty, though. I mean, oh my gosh. The vibrant colors and everything. The birds, the wildlife, all the trees, the architecture. Like, even this village. Like, you can see the distinguishing, real estate. You've got the lords up there or whatever, and then down here you have the working class, and you've got these markets and whatnot. Like, this is so cool. This guy sells pots. What are you guys looking at over here, huh? What are you guys doing? What is there to look at? These rugs? A cat. Must pet. Wait, did I get it as like a pet?
Sweet?
I unlocked something when I pet it. It's so cute. The animation is so much cuter. So I don't know if I unlocked its skin or something. Dude, if you can collect cat skins throughout the game to have in your homestead, that's gonna be sick. Get my butt kicked.
That was a good fight.
So, this is weird, but one of my favorite things is the loading screen. I really like this new loading screen. It's so cool, all the little trees. Okay, so I've been playing around a little bit with Naoe's combat. It is very different. It is much harder to kill people with Naoe.
Stick to the shadows. I don't want trouble.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so combat is much more difficult with Naoe. You really have to time your parry and everything. But the combat is still very fluid. I am still getting used to the dodge button being with B and not with A. Okay, not with X, I mean. I'm getting cooked over here. Oh! Oh, geez. He just shot that barrel open. Okay, so this probably is going to be all heavy attacks, I'm assuming. Yeah. So they all have special abilities. It looks like she's got a really cool one. Oh, I just got shot! So that's so crazy. There's ranged enemies that are going to shoot you, just like in other games, mainly with arrows, but here they've got guns because of it being in the, I think, the late 1500s, and so Oh, the loading screen looks so good, though. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is the ability to tag enemies. There's no longer a bird or mythical creature that's going to fly around and look through walls to tag enemies anymore. Now, you really have to utilize vantage points across the map, either going up high onto a building or being in a bush, being stealthy and tagging enemies. So here you can see I have this enemy in sight. If I zoom in on him by pressing the trigger on controller, I tag him. So if I zoom out now, there's a little arrow above his head that I can see that through walls and know that he's there and moving around. One other thing I want to note, which is so cool, is the return of Eagle Vision. So if I hold down one of the joysticks, you can see that I can not only see that guy there, but I can also look through walls and see other people and enemies and characters through walls here. So if I zoom in on this one, this is just a civilian, but I can tag that civilian and also tag this civilian as well, and I can even see loot and other enemies through the walls there. And so now if I let go of both Eagle Vision and my zoom, let's see if I can turn Eagle Vision off, now they are tagged. So instead of having a bird do it, you actually have a return of Eagle Vision, which is super cool. Very basic form of Eagle Vision, just like the OG games, but I love to see the return and to have that ability to tag enemies with the Eagle Vision and not just have to spam it at all times, having a black and white screen to see enemies. Okay, so now let's swap over to Yasuke, so I can just press pause, hold X, and I can simply switch characters between the two. Very cool. There is a loading screen that you do have to sit through. It's not like Spider-Man 2 where it just zooms into another character across the map. I'm pretty sure wants to keep you relatively in the same area, so I'm just a few yards away from where I was. So I want to try the same thing, but now with Yasuke, where I just go in guns a-blazing to see how this fares. I do also want to see Yasuke's parkour, because he can climb. He's just not very good at it. Okay, so Yasuke is definitely slower. He feels a lot clunkier. It's interesting to see the animation when he lands on the ground. He really just kind of falls to his knees rather than landing super softly like Naoe does. So he can climb. He's a lot slower. Oh, and look, I can't... There's ledges that I can't reach because I'm Yasuke, and so he can climb basic structures, but he cannot climb everything. Very interesting. Brutal Assassinate. Okay. Nothing stealthy about that. That's just a cheap shot is essentially what that is. Very interesting. But yeah, parkour with Yasuke is definitely clunky, and you know, he's heavy. It feels heavy. I think when you're climbing, your controller even vibrates more than it does with Yaoi. Very cool to see. And when I say clunky, that's on purpose. It's obviously not bad parkour. It's great parkour, but you're only able to do simple climbing with Yasuke rather than do the same parkour, which is super cool. I really, really like that. So I don't know if that's a civilian, but he's dead. Oh, look. I'm in this guy's Zen garden. I can mess up the Zen garden. That's kind of mean. So I think that's a civilian. Yeah, that's a civilian. So she's just going to go warn others that I'm here. Yeah, I'm definitely a lot slower, I feel like, as Yasuke. Well, I guess when I'm running, I'm probably about the same speed. I'm just much larger in stature, so I feel a lot heavier and everything when I move. Which makes sense. Alright, so it looks like he has some kind of Spartan kick as an ability, and then some kind of samurai slice that he can do. Looks like I can also shoot something. Oh, I've got a gun. I've just straight up, I have a weapon. Okay, very cool. Oh my gosh, dude. The finishers are incredible. Very brutal. So if you really like the brutality of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it looks like this is not lacking. Whee! Oh, the parkour with him is so funny. jump off a building, just break my legs. Oh, oh I love it. Oh, I love that their armor comes off when you damage them. Okay, so one thing to note is that Yasuke is significantly bigger than anybody else in Japan. You are enormous. You tower over everybody. And that really just you feel like Kratos, honestly. And so these brutal assassinations that you do are so, so awesome. And they're probably going to have some kind of intimidation factor with these. Ooh, a dog. Hello, doggy, come here. No, doggy, come here. Doggy. Doggy, I need to pet you. All right, I'll do the white doggy. Doggy. Yes! So in this, you can actually collect pet skins or pet types, I guess, for your homestead. So now I can have this white dog appear in the homestead. I haven't seen the homestead yet in the game, but that is a mechanic that has been shown and has been told to me. So very cool. Just a cute factor is all really that it is, but I love it nonetheless. This is really interesting, and I did not notice this earlier, but Yasuke does not have eagle vision. And so I don't know if it's because he's just not trained like an assassin, or if he doesn't have that Isu blood, if they're going back for the lore reason behind eagle vision, I'm not sure. We do know that Naoe has eagle vision. We don't know why. We don't know if it's an Isu background thing, or just that she's trained like an assassin. Lore-wise, it really should be the Isu blood is the reason for the eagle vision. But regardless of the reason, Yasuke does not have it. It's really just a stealth mechanic, which is really cool.
She owns the front lines.
No longer do I have to go faster or slower than this person. I can just auto-follow. And I can move my camera while I auto-follow. That is so nice. They had a similar feature, I believe, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla with the horses, if you're on horseback. It didn't work very well. But this, it just locks on to however far you were from the character, and it just auto-follows, and you can even move the camera to be super cinematic. I love that. So one thing that I've noticed is that the facial expressions and features and level of detail and even the hair is so detailed in this game. The other RPG games, I was never super impressed with the amount of detail and movement of emotion and everything in the characters' faces. But in these cutscenes, these are in-game engine cutscenes, and they are incredible. You can see glistening on their skin of sweat and humidity, and you can see wrinkles in their forehead, and their hair moves so well. They've got hair physics like they've never had before, and the emotion that they're able to show in their face during cutscenes is immaculate. So this game definitely tops them all with the level of detail in each of the characters, and I'm so glad because it helps you feel more emotion and connection to the characters, which is definitely needed. Look at that, right there. The shift in emotion. The shift in emotion that you just saw in that guy's face was palpable because of the level of detail that they have now in the character models. I love that. So one thing that I have noticed already, though, is that the main character that you play and other main characters in the story have very detailed facial expressions and features and graphics. But the more minor characters like this guy right here are still okay, but they're a lot more basic. His mouth movements is very simple. He's not showing a lot of emotion in the brow or anything like that, unlike the previous cutscene that we just saw. I'm wondering if it's A, because there's side missions and main characters and side characters, and that's okay. But also in the other Assassin's Creed games, you could change the level of detail in your character and other characters. So if you want your character to look really good, but other characters to be more low res, you can do that. And so I'm wondering if that's going to be similar in this game as well.
I would ask why you've come here. But
look at the emotion in his face.
Which is? For
it looks so good.
I am here, I presume. Who do you serve?
been accounted for.
Oh, the
Except for
rain.
one.
The weather looks so good, and the wet animation on all their armor and his silk and their skin. It
They
looks
have
so
taken
good.
my son.
Okay, so right here we can already see that we have the option to play this mission as Yasuke or as Naoe. In fact, I could have even entered this mission as either one. However, there is an option called Canon Mode that will allow you to choose the correct canon option based off of the historical canon that Ubisoft has set aside for the story. So rather than debating is Naoe canon for this or Yasuke, you can choose, but there is a canon option. But for the sake of gameplay, they let you choose either one, which is very cool. Okay, so let's try to be stealthy here. Another game feature that has made a return to Assassin's Creed Shadows is the ability to summon allies or other assassins to aid you in your stealth or even your combat. So in this example, I have two different character types that I can summon. One is stealth and one is combat. For this character over here, this enemy, I'm going to summon the stealth option. And if we watch, we can see that they got shot from some rooftop. I don't know exactly where the assassin is, but they usually appear on a rooftop or inside of a bush, and they will take out the enemy for you and disappear. The other option is a combat option. So if I initiate the assassination here to get majority damage and then summon my combat ally, I will have this giant person come and fist fight some of the enemies here, which is super nice because now, as Naoe, I don't have a combat advantage like Yasuke does, and so having the ability to summon allies like that is extremely useful. And then they disappear in a cloud of smoke, which is really cool. You can actually upgrade these summons as well. They do have like a 6-minute cooldown, but each of the different summons has an upgrade ability and probably some type of skill tree, which is so cool. Okay, so a really interesting feature that was just shown to me is a scout feature. So similar to Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, there's some quests like this one where I have to search for somebody in a specific area, but I don't know exactly where the quest marker is. There's not a quest marker like this to show me exactly where to go. So in this case, we know that she's in Harima. We know that it's west of Himeji, I don't know how to say that, and that she's at that guy's house. And so what I can do is I can actually summon one of my scouts to go and look for the exact objective. And so in this case, I think that it's probably thinking about something over here, maybe this question mark here. And so I'm going to hit X, and then I can dispatch a scout to go and look for this objective in this area. And it looks like it actually worked in this case. So now I know a more targeted place to find this objective. So those assassins or allies that you can summon can also be upgraded in the assassin's hideout or the assassin's bureau. I'm not exactly sure what the term is they're calling it, but you can upgrade those scouts and those allies that you can summon at this bureau or hideout here found on the map, which is super cool. So the grappling hook in this game is extremely helpful. Not only can you use it to traverse and do parkour, but you can also use it in combat to take out people with certain assassinations from the air. You can swing closer to them if there's an option to and take them out, which is very cool. So it looks like we don't have a pet bird to do the synchronization here. It's just you looking around your surroundings, like in other games where you don't have a bird. So no bird in this. It's just eagle vision and using your eyes to find spots. Okay, so I'm on the same viewpoint as Yasuke now, and like I mentioned before, parkour and movement is very different as Yasuke, but you can still fast travel to various points and viewpoints around the map just like you can with Naoe. But when you go to do a leap of faith, it will be very different. So, oh, he goes butt first. Oh, he just crashed completely in that bale of hay. I love that so much. Oh, and he's like out for the count. I can't move right now. He hurt his back on the way down. So the parkour is very different in with Yasuke, and even coming down from a viewpoint. A little sketchy. I would be terrified if I was as big as he is as well. So I've noticed that the detection of enemies is so much more keen than in prior games, which is crazy. they can see you from way further away than they used to be. Oh my gosh, you can seriously just climb sheer cliffs. Like, this building is so tall, I would not have been able to climb this if I did not have the grappling hook, which is so cool. So that looks like it's explosive. It is. Oh, that's wonderful. So rooftops aren't completely safe even in the dark. If an enemy is looking for you, they will see you on top of a rooftop. Look how far away this enemy is from that rooftop and he saw me. So usually height is a big factor in stealth in the other games, but in this one, if they're looking for you, they're gonna look up and down. They're not just gonna look on the floor.
I need to slow down. Identify my target. It's him. That should be all of them. Yasuke will be at the Honmaru.
Okay, I just did a whole stealth mission as Naoe, and
taken
it
care
was
of Naoe's
so
hidden shinobi.
fluid and so
Did
nice.
his
I didn't even
samurai
use
prove
use a
troublesome?
portion of her tools,
Nothing
but
I
it
could
felt
not handle.
so
Now,
natural
we have
and
to get to Lord
realistic.
Kanbei before
The
something happens to him.
distance that enemies
Maybe
can
Lord
see you,
Kanbei has
even in the
already
dark,
talked Naoe
even on a
into death,
rooftop,
and all his
is
men prowling the
crazy.
area.
You have to play it so safe and really be aware of line of sight. Really cool. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for the abrupt end here. That was a 4-hour gameplay session that I had that I got to play Assassin's Creed Shadows early. I forgot to do an outro just because I had a demoist on the call with me and I just didn't think to do an outro. So here we are. But those are some of the immediate thoughts that I had about the game while I was playing it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see my more in-depth breakdown about my gameplay, go check out Beneath the Hood podcast here on YouTube. It's posted by my buddy AC Johnny, who also got to play 4 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows early, and we did an entire podcast episode dedicated to talking about our experience. So if you'd like to check that out, I will link that down below in the bio. But thank you guys so much for supporting me over here on YouTube. I know I'm mainly on TikTok, but thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this more in-depth gameplay breakdown of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm so excited to play it. See you guys next time.